Hello everyone, good morning. So it has been a busy morning like usual. We actually had a birthday party last night for one of the kiddos. So we got all cleaned up from that this morning and came out to plant because I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is like not beating down on us. It's just the most beautiful day to get some planting done. So I think we're just gonna spend the day outside. What you doing, Matt?
Seeing if any of the feed's wet on the bottom, but it's dry. It's working.
What'd you do to it?
When I waterproofed it on top. So when it's this full, it'll go 7 days. The feed half full. It's crazy. I can't believe that'll go 7 days for 3 pigs.
They don't really have a ton to eat over here right now either.
No, but they're getting a lot of roots yet. And then I'm giving them grass also every time I mow. Come here, let me pet you. I want to pet bacon. Why are you so jumpy?
Matt's getting the lawnmower going. Him and Eli are going to head over to across the creek where we're going to be planting our pumpkins, our watermelons, and our cantaloupes. And they're gonna just kind of clean that area up a little bit. So we kept our cucumber varieties pretty simple this year. There are a couple that I tried last year that didn't come up that I'm going to try again. So I planted 5 of the cucuzzi squash seeds, not cucumbers, but cucuzzi squash. I figured they're gonna grow on a trellis, so a similar concept. I planted 5 seeds, none came up. So I planted 5 more in their place and none came up. So unfortunately, I don't have any of the cucuzzi squash. I did plant 5 of the American yard-long cucumbers. So we tried to plant these last year and they didn't come up, but all 5 came up and I really only wanted like 2. So I think I'm gonna get those in. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to plant all of them or if I can find another place where I'm going to plant them. And then the rest of these are our Parisian pickling cucumbers that we just love. Last year we did have a little bit of an issue with bugs on them, potato beetles, or some people thought it was a cucumber beetle, but I really think it was potato beetle. So anyways, we're going to plant some of those. I might try to just put some in like a pot or something so that if these get attacked by the beetles, I can just transplant them in because these all need more. This isn't enough for them. So I don't think I'll be able to keep them alive in here like I hoped and then be able to switch them out if needed. I don't know. I might just plant them along the fence and we'll see, but there's quite a few. So one of the kids brought me out a measuring tape so I could just confirm what I was thinking. I was looking at these rectangles in, this is just a cattle panel trellis here. And it looks like 2 were about 12 inches. So I checked and it's almost exact. So I'm going to try to plant the cucumbers about 12 inches apart. I'm going to start this other one. Let's see how far it actually is in. Oh, it's about actually a foot in from the actual gate. It doesn't seem that far though. So I am going to be adding some fertilizer. This is just kind of all-purpose fertilizer. Until we get our comfrey stuff going, we just have our you know, our manure and things like that. So I'm planting the Armenian yard-long first. So my thought is I want the big cucumbers right here and then the littler ones over there. Ended up getting 20 of those Parisian pickling cukes on the arches and 2 of those Armenian yard-longs. So they're probably overplanted, but the best luck we've had filling these arches is when we just plant a ton of stuff. And hopefully some of those come up. I still have a few left over. So I am thinking I'm just gonna throw them along this fence line down here because I have the space. Can you tell me what you planted?
We planted all this.
All right, Matt, tell me what you've been up to here.
I said Mama because
Pumpkins are all on that side. This is all watermelon here. And I still got a dozen plants to go through. And then I have a bunch of cantaloupe. But
So I think if I remember correctly, the mixture of pumpkins that he planted are pie pumpkins, some of the cornfield squash, which kind of just look like a big orange, a little flatter pumpkin, and then the Long Island cheese pumpkins, which I'm really excited to see how they do. I might be missing a variety, but for sure those. So I think the other variety is the Mousse de Provence ones, and I think Matt thinks these are those. He said those plants are quite a bit smaller, so he kind of put them together. So hopefully we get some of those this year. So the pumpkins he's got in are the Oscillate pumpkins. We've also got some we saved from a watermelon from Rich and Holly over at the Old Swedes farm. And we'll see if we can get some of these in, because those are some big old watermelons they brought. So how many pumpkins and watermelons and cantaloupe did you plant?
You can count.
You're supposed to say all of them. So Matt did a very good job and planted all the pumpkins, all the cantaloupe, muskmelon, and all the watermelon. We did put a few, 2 in hills, just because we had them and we didn't want to utilize this whole space. So this is kind of, see that? This is kind of the path here where you come in. So we got pumpkins and melons on this side, watermelons and other melons on that side. And then Matt's bees are right here. So this way he can still drive in and take care of the bees as needed. I'm sure these will creep out into that space, but I'm just hoping they grow and the deer don't completely decimate them, or animals. What do you think?
I don't think they will. They'll be fine.
Never know. We're admiring our trees over here that we planted last year. So we have 2 pear trees. I think they're both, are they? This one's eaten off. I don't know, something chewed the tag off of that one. But we thought this one was a goner. But it still has some green on it. Whatever. 2 of those pear trees over here. And this is the same as the variety in the garden that we have never gotten pears off of. So maybe this will be our year. Didn't see any blossoms, so we're not gonna hold our breath on that one, but you never know. Doesn't this look so pretty this time of year over here? That's our yard over there. You can't even see it. Just barely. I can kind of see the wood chips of the garden. Wheelbarrow sitting in the garden. That's about it. So pretty, so peaceful. All right, so it's the end of the day. I didn't film too much after lunch, but Matt and I have been in and out all day doing a lot of planting. We ended up kind of just jumping all over the place with the intentions that by the end of this coming weekend, we will have the whole garden in. Let's hope. So cucumbers, almost all in. Matt ended up, the rest of them I'm going to plant on this. Let's walk down there. The rest of them I'm going to plant along here, and he raked all these wood chips, cleaned it up, shoveled some out, gave them to the chickens and stuff. We just had too many down here, so he cleaned that all up, but I haven't had time to plant them yet because I was planting tomatoes, because those should be planted before cucumbers. So I planted 38 of the Italian heirloom tomatoes, and it took up almost one of these trellises. There's going to be enough room for maybe 2 more tomato plants on this back one, which will be perfect because then I can put 2 cherry tomato plants there. And then we still have to plant, we had another 50 we started of tomatoes, just kind of a variety of them. So I'm thinking the second trellis here will be perfect for the rest of those. And then hopefully we can just kind of finish the tomatoes off. I don't think we'll need an extra row this year because we had almost 150 we started last year, so we probably had over 120 actually in the ground. We won't have that many this year. I did bring my peppers down here with intentions to plant them. I did not. Again, things that need to get planted. I do need to use that area, so Matt was cleaning up the wood chips in that area, so now I can plant more down there. I did throw in some sunflowers in the back of the garden here. I had some still in the garage that were still in the drying rack, so I just put them in this oatmeal container so I could just sprinkle them in. So I do need to get the rest of those in as well, but hopefully the next time you see this garden it will all be planted. And Matt and Eli did a lot of pumpkins, cantaloupe, watermelon, so all of that is actually done. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and glad you got to see us again. Bye.